Turo is fucking dead. I predict in the next 2 years that Turo will go completely out of business. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is Turo, the car rental app. I'm going to talk about how Turo is used as a car rental business. I'm going to talk about how I bought $5,000 cars to rent out not on Turo, but as a private rental business. This will be the ultimate car rental business startup guide. I'll talk about car rental insurance. And in the end, we can talk about what car rental coaches are. If you're in the car rental business, leave a comment below about what you think about Turo, and let's get right into the video. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex Otto. I help car rental entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs just like yourself start and scale their car rental business through funding. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how I bought my cars for so cheap that I make a return on my investment in 3 to 4 months outside of using Turo. So what is Turo? Turo is a car rental app where customers and hosts, which are people that are car rental owners, can list their cars so the customers can rent them out. Now, what people don't understand about Turo is that Turo is simply the middleman. Turo doesn't own any vehicles. Turo doesn't have to do any maintenance. However, Turo charges a lot of fees to the host to list their cars on the platform, and a lot of fees to the customer to rent cars on their platform. Now, Turo does provide a lot of benefits to the host and the customer. It's a convenient app for the customer. They just go on the app, they select the car they want, they choose their dates, and they can book for the date and times that they want. They know the exact cars they're getting, which is why Turo has beaten the traditional car rental companies for the last 5 to 10 years, because the customers know exactly which car they're renting. And for the host, Turo makes it super easy to make money with your cars. All you have to do is take pictures of your car, list the car with the car's information, put it on the app, and then wait for bookings. Now, what people don't know is that Turo, being the middleman, actually insures the vehicles. So Turo is currently struggling right now because they are paying out a lot of claims for these cars. Turo does the arbitrage method of insurance, where they charge the rental host a percentage of their revenue to insure the cars, and on top of that, they charge the customer a collision damage waiver, which is what most traditional car rental companies do, like Enterprise, Hertz, right? And the combination of those two sources of revenue is how Turo insures the cars. Now, this is all well and good when you have, a few cars on the platform, but now Turo is essentially, a nationwide service. So they have hundreds of thousands of cars on their platforms, and this leads to hundreds of thousands of claims being filed every day. So Turo loses money each time they pay out on a claim. That's why they make it so difficult for the host to be able to recoup losses from claims. And they also make it hard for the customer. Well, they actually make it easier for the customer because the customers don't have to have any skin in the game. They don't need any car rental insurance. They don't need any personal insurance. So all they have to do is rent the cars on Turo, pay for Turo's daily insurance, which is about, I think it's about $20 to $25 per day. And essentially they can crash the cars and walk away scot-free. That's the first problem that leads to more claims for Turo. The second problem is that Turo isn't strict with their background checks. Now, they do background checks, but they aren't strict with background checks. So they allow people who are high risk to rent out these cars, which lead to more claims. Now, the reason why they do this is because probably for their business, it makes sense to cast a wider net into, the customer base, take on higher risk clients to increase the revenue, and then use a portion of that revenue to pay out the claims. However, if the claims become more than the revenue, then that no longer makes sense. Now, this is very, very bad for the host. Now, for you, car rental business owner, this is terrible for you because this means that it's a higher likelihood that the cars that you're listing will get crashed and totaled. So this is where, as a car rental business owner, you need to understand where the advantage and the disadvantage is for Turo. So, and I'll break that down. The first car I bought and put on Turo, I financed that car. That was a huge mistake. I financed that car for about $20,000. That was a huge mistake. Why? Because I've exposed myself to a lot of risk there, right? If the car ends up getting totaled, then I'm still on hook for that money up until Turo pays out the claim. If Turo decides not to pay out the claim, you're still on the hook for that money. So if you have more expensive cars, Turo can be a huge liability for you as a customer. That's one. And two, if they do pay out the claim, that hurts Turo's pockets significantly. And from what I'm finding, Turo is paying out a lot of claims, which is why Turo has done a complete U-turn. They were supposed to IPO and go public earlier this month. They've done a huge U-turn because their numbers aren't as good as they claim to be. That is a huge red flag. And we've seen other car rental apps like HireCar, GetAround, who have also gone out of business. So that is the indicator that these apps are not as profitable as they're coming off to be. So as a car rental business owner, it's important for you to take charge of your business, right? Between 2021 and 2023, the car rental industry boomed like crazy because people were locked down in 2020 and had all this money from the lockdown, all this government money, stimulus checks. So as soon as everything opened back up, people started traveling. They started, going out and things like that, which led to a huge boom in the transportation industry. And car rentals saw that boom. I started my car rental business in 2022. I started with the finance car. However, the second, third, and fourth car I bought from there were all cash cars for super cheap. I bought a 2014 Kia Optima for about $5,000. I made 100% return on my money in about 3 months. But the reason why I was able to make my money back so quickly was because I started a private car rental business. What is a private car rental business? A private car rental business is a fully sustained business that you build outside of Turo, which means that you are in charge of getting your own clients. You're in charge of setting up your own rental agreement, setting up the bookings, and ensuring that the client that you're giving the car to is safe, they have a clean background, and on top of that, that your cars will return back safely. To me, this makes a lot more sense than putting my cars on Turo and giving it to people that I can't verify, I can't do background checks on, and even if I do, I don't have any control on saying yes or no to them. That's one. And then the other part is that I keep 100% of the revenue. So I'll give you an example. When I bought my Kia Optima, I bought that car for about $5,000. I rented it out for $350 a week. I gave the car to a DoorDash driver. $350 a week. The DoorDash driver kept the car for 6 months straight. So let's do some simple math. So $350 a week comes out to about $1,400 a month. $1,400 a month for 6 months. Well, that's about $8,400. So I essentially almost doubled my revenue in 6 months, which is absolutely insane. So this is a much more scalable method. And the best part about this method is that I get to keep 100% of the revenue. I get to choose who I want to rent my cars to. So I can do background checks. I can do driving record checks. I can ensure that each person is using the car for the ride sharing platforms. That's how they're able to afford it. On these platforms, they can make anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000 a week. So giving you $350, $400 a week is nothing. It's worth it to them, especially since the alternative is not making any money at all. So that's the important part about creating your own car rental private business. Now, when you're looking to start your own car rental private business, it's important to seek help and to seek coaching or mentorship or courses. The reason why is because car rental is a high risk industry. You need to understand things like, having the right LLC name, opening business bank accounts, ensuring that your business is fundable. And all of that is high level stuff that you need to get that information on so that when it's time to go acquire funding, when it's time to go scale, it's easier for you to scale because you've done everything right up front. That is the purpose of a car rental coach, and that's the purpose of mentorship. So like I said in this video, I was going to cover what Turo is, right? Turo is a car rental app where customers and hosts can put their cars. Hosts can earn money, customers can rent out cars for a convenient fee. We talked about how Turo is used as a car rental app. I talked about how I bought my Kia Optima for $5,000, rented it out as a private car rental business, and made $8,400 in 6 months. We talked about how Turo is actually also a car insurance platform that insures the host cars on their own. That's why they make it so difficult to pay out on claims. That's why you as a host need to understand that you need to take a lot of pictures. You need to follow Turo's guidelines because they will find any reason to deny your claims, leaving you on the hook for potentially tens of thousands of dollars in card payments. And then we talked about some higher level stuff, possibly, setting up your business the correct way so that you can possibly get funding when you want to scale your car rental business. I'm Alex Otto. Thank you for watching the video. If you like this content, feel free to leave a comment. I want to hear some opinions of the car rental business owners out there, how you're running your business. Are you on Turo? Are you on private? And if you're looking for a car rental coach, subscribe to this channel. I'll produce more content like this, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, thank you.